Let's talk some Saints. Sharief Ishaq, WDSU down in New Orleans, going to give us a little bit of time here on this Tuesday. Sharief, how are we doing?
Well, Derek Carr retired, got $30 million back. LSU was an awesome weekend win, and then the price for that was the Pelicans getting the 7th overall pick.
Yeah, that was bad. That was about as bad as it can go. Two division teams jump you, Pels fall back. It was a tough scene. I guess we can get into that a little later. I do want to talk about the Saints and Derek Carr. I'll kind of leave it open-ended, your reaction when you saw that news on Saturday, and then we'll talk about what it means for New Orleans moving forward. But what'd you think when you saw it?
Honestly, I was shocked, for sure, 100% shocked that he retired. I really thought he wasn't going to play for the Saints again. I thought he would probably be going season-ending IR, something. That was actually the definitive thing I thought was going to happen, was he was going to go to season-ending IR and just wasn't going to play for the Saints again. Now, when I showed up to the Saints facility at 9:45 just to get a parking spot, then 2 minutes later I see the breaking news. I'm like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. I was like, all right. Well, they broke up and they went their separate ways, and I saw that they got $30 million back, and I'm like, all right, even better news for the Saints. So, I think it's, for the best. How about that? If I can say it in the most professional way possible, it's for the best.
For the best, that means that somebody else has got to take snaps. That can be Tyler Shough, who they took in the second round. It can be Spencer Rattler, who started for them over the course of a few games last year. I don't know that Jake Haener's really in that mix. And then, of course, you can go the veteran route with a Teddy Bridgewater if he wants to play, or Carson Wentz, or whatever the case may be. How do you see the Saints in the offseason navigating quarterback from here?
So they have to add a veteran. There's no doubt they're going to have to add one at some point, whether if it's one of those guys you just named, Jimmy Garoppolo. Somebody has to come and come be on this team. Who do I think is going to be the quarterback? It's Tyler Shough. I mean, they didn't draft him in the second round just for him to be a backup quarterback. I think Kellen wanted his quarterback, and Mickey went and got him his quarterback just like he did for Sean and Dennis. So to me, it's going to be Shough. It's going to be Shough's job to lose, and then if somebody can beat him out, that's awesome. But I just don't see anyone beating him out. I think he's going to be Kellen's quarterback.
Okay, so here's the big question that's very difficult to answer, I think. We'll see what your thoughts are. Is this Tyler Shough sink or swim, we're going? Or if he throws, 5 interceptions the first 2 weeks, could you see, well, Spencer Rattler's going to start in week 3, or Carson Wentz is going to start in week 3 because we're trying to win in week 3? I mean, how do you handle this? Is it Shough's franchise, or is it who gives us the best chance to win the next Sunday?
I think, to me, Shough's his guy. They're going to just have to roll with him and give him the best chance to win. I mean, that's pretty much what they're looking at. I think he plays until, if something happens, like an injury, or if it's really bad. I just think that they're going to stick with him until it gets so bad that they can't stick with him. I mean, Hunt, we know this is a process. This isn't like, we're, going to be a playoff team this year. It's so hard to see this team even winning more than 5 games right now. It really is. It really is. It doesn't even matter who's playing at quarterback. I really think it's so hard to see them win more than 5 or 6 games. And so I think it's Shough, and I think they're going to stick with Shough and let him ride it out. Who knows, man? He might turn out to be something solid. We just don't know. I mean, they might add some more pieces to help him. It's just, it's just like a head scratcher. I'm not saying it's like the 2006 season whenever they were coming off Katrina and they signed Drew Brees, because Drew Brees is a Hall of Famer. We know that. Everyone had no expectations for that season. There are 0 expectations for this season. The roster isn't great. The draft is fine. It just doesn't seem good, Hunt. So you just stick with him. Why don't you just ride it out with Tyler Shough? And if it doesn't work out for 2 years, you go get Arch in 2027. I mean, if it doesn't, he's not your quarterback, you find another one. That's the beauty of things. He's on a cheap rookie contract. You're not paying him anything.
Have you personally written Spencer Rattler off?
I haven't written him off, but to me, it just seems like if you thought he was your quarterback, then you wouldn't have drafted Tyler Shough. You would have just drafted a position of need. You would have drafted an edge rusher. You would have drafted another receiver to help the offense out. By them drafting him 40th overall, to me, that sounds like a commitment to Kellen Moore wanting Tyler to be his starting quarterback.
What would you say if they signed Carson Wentz and he was the starter in week 1?
Did I say we have a situation in our hand that you should have never drafted Tyler Shough.
Okay.
But if you feel like he's not ready, but he will be ready at some point in the season, that you want to get him up to speed even more, and if the season continues going down into the dumps with Carson Wentz as their starting quarterback, and he comes in and plays after Wentz when the season's even worse than it should be, yeah, I'm good with that too. But I personally, you're asking me, I am going to start Tyler Shough.
Okay.
I'm drafting somebody 40th overall. I want to start that guy because you used the pick on him in the second round.
I guess all of these questions are just a roundabout way of asking, like, because we know the Saints have always been, and we're going to do what it takes to win right now. And that's how they've operated really with this regime the entire time. And we always ask, like, is there ever a time where you think, let's just take a step back? And you haven't really seen that. Do you think Derek Carr's retirement makes that more likely, that they could just say, hey, we're going to start a rookie quarterback. Like, we're probably not going to be great. Let's just throw some young guys out there. Let's not go nuts with the salary cap. Like, is there a chance in a change of philosophy that gets initiated because Derek Carr is not there? Because you can talk yourself into Derek Carr willing your way to 9 or 10 wins. I don't, but you could. It's really hard to do that with Tyler Shough.
I really think that, like, this move right here solidified what you just said, but I still think they were going in that direction in some sort of way whenever the season ended. I think they looked at it and said, all right, this is where we can start our soft rebuild. We are probably just going to draft a quarterback here, and Derek's not going to play. Then he retires and gives him $30 million toward the cap. So now it accelerates it even more. They're not going to say it out in public to us that, hey, this is a rebuild. We're not trying to go for it all here. I mean, optics are there, Hunt. The optics are there. You drafted 9 players. You didn't give up future assets. You haven't done anything really outlandish or crazy in free agency. Didn't give up any, money. You have money going into next year. Salary cap. So I think that the writing's on the wall, and you're seeing it now that it's a soft rebuild, and that rebuild is on its way.
That's a positive, if you ask me, for sure. Sharief Ishaq, WDSU, is our guest here talking all things New Orleans. Hey, it's Hunt. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.